Let's have a little bit of talk about the finals, by the way. So
That's a good idea.
we've seen a good we've seen a good amount of the factions today, although we haven't seen the Brits really, apart from Hands, have we?
Yeah, we saw Hans use them in that one game.
I think that's the only time that we've seen them. But there's the USF was really strong today.
Mm.
The USF looked like it was in a great position. Did Devem really good job with that. Nagano,
The Soviets, let's just be honest, the elephant in the room is Soviets probably the most powerful faction overall in 1v1. Just about. We're not talking about big differences anymore. Thanks to a lot of good balance work by Relic and the boys, you've got small elements now. Soviets do seem to be a little bit popular, but as Dan said, USF are good. Brits are good. Axis, there are ways to play them that are very competitive, as you've seen today. I mean, it's anyone's game. And there's been a hell of a lot of individual micro, resulting in victories rather than, oh, he played this faction, he got coin toss. It's not like that anymore in Company Heroes 2. It's now a real contest, a real test of skill, strategy, and preservation, endurance, and sexual prowess.
And this, yeah, exactly. This is our first glimpse of it as well. It's the first time we've seen this in competitive, and what a change it is as well. Such a change from what we're used to. I've not really seen anything today that I've been like, wow, why did that happen? It's been absolutely on point game for game. So here we go, the finals. Two of what you could definitely pin right now as the best players in Company of Heroes. I don't think just by the fact of how they've played today, they have any competition right now. Please do stick around. This is probably going to be one of the best games you ever see, ever.
Much.
I can't even emphasize that. Like, if you've seen how Talisman has played today, and you've seen how Jove has played every other day, I'm excited.
I am genuinely pitting Talisman as somebody that Jove should fear, because he's not a known commodity, a super well-known commodity. He is just somebody that has come in the past couple of months and made a massive name for himself as somebody that can put it to the big boys. They may have seen him in auto match, but I've not seen Talisman as somebody that spams auto match with a view to getting a super high ladder ranking. He seems to be a thinking man's CoH2 player, as evidenced in that interview. If you click the link below, you'll have a little brief. You'll see Relic's blog, the interviews with a couple ones before that. Talisman's, yeah, he's a good player, and Jove will fear him. Also, let's talk about 1,300 euros. That's 3 months' wages, average wage in Moscow. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, Jove wants that.
That would be life-changing.
He's VIP there now.
Oh, he would be, yeah, he would be.
There's a serious...
There's a street named after him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a serious prize for
Jove
him.
Strat.
It really is, and he goes for it. Just respect how hard he fights for it constantly. Nagano fought for it today. Nagano wants a piece of that as well, for sure.
He did. He came up lacking, and the thing that stopped him was Talisman, an absolute roadblock to Nagano's ambitions.
I don't know. It was close. I wouldn't use the word roadblocked. It was.
That last game was pretty roadblocking with that OKW play.
Well,
everywhere he pushed, there was an OKW answer.
How many people would you see of picking OKW on that map recently? It's I guess it kind of adds unpredictability in that respect.
Yeah, it does. With that particular, I'm going to be honest, with that particular Holodny Firma, as some of you would like me to say it, because that's the Russian way to say it.
Oh, okay.
I probably didn't say that right, so bear with me. But you've got the centre, you've got the east, you've got the west. It just seemed to like swivel around. There was never a crunching engagement because it was the decider and they were being a bit tentative. They only ever went into something if they knew they were going to win it. So it was just hard retreat. I have max pop cap. I need to kill my Fallschirmjägers to try and get a tank out.
Yeah, it was a good demonstration of exactly how the game's built,
It was.
You start off building your units, you identify what your opponent has, their commander choice, you try and get the best loadout, as it were, to counter them. You wait till you're maxed up and then you just go for it.
Maxed up, yeah.
The plays
I gotta say, I want some more aggression to come from this. I can see we've got a 2-minute delay. I'm loading up right now, so in 2 minutes' time, you're going to be seeing the start of the final. Tell your Steam buddies, tell your TeamSpeak buddies, get your mum's former flatmates, father's gerbil to be watching this Twitch cast right now. We want to hit 10,000 viewers minimum.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, make sure you're sharing out the link to the stream. It takes no time at all, does it, to put it on Twitter. And we want to share this final because this is going to be a big one. So if you don't know what it is, www.twitch.tv/account_eliminator.
It's http:// yeah? You need that bit, otherwise it doesn't work.
Sorry, are you tired? I am tired of you. Oh, don't poke my ribs. I'll be angry. All right, maybe we should hop in and just discuss the loadouts at the moment and the commander selections. Are you ready?
Yeah, we can do that. We can treat this as the actual final, if you like. Hello there, and welcome to the grand final of the February monthly finals of ESL Go4 for Company of Heroes 2. You're watching a 1-minute delay before the game starts proper, and we've got Jove in the east versus Talisman in the west. Tell us what commanders you see there, Dan.
Well, from Talisman, we've got Scavenge Doctrine, Special Operations, and Luftwaffe. That's pretty standard loadout, I think. We haven't seen any of much of the blues.
No.
You know, we haven't seen the elite armor and things like that, which is still, you know, pretty good commanders. But I think everyone enjoys what you get out of these scavengers. I've seen a lot of people using that recently, and it really is just it offers you, things to get you through the mid game and so on. A really, really nice one there.
And with regards to Jove, what do you see?
Again, like the same commanders that we've seen. This seems to be a really popular, commander loadout just from all players universally. Guard motor, of course. HM120, huge
Massive
mortar. It really does pick up the squad wipes beautifully, and also good against the tier structures as well from OKW. So we might see that. Lend-Lease again, great. Probably better playing against Austere, where you can make use of the allied supply drop. And shock rifle. This is always going to be the firm favorite. Shock rifle is IS-2, incendiary. Such great path clearing opportunities for that, and one of the most beastly tanks in the game. But yeah, okay, we'll see what we have there. Both players going to be fearing each other here, and you can tell that because there's no instant commander picks.
Of course they will. They'll be tentative. I mean, Jove has played all of these guys in the top 50. That's what he's got, like 7,000 something, between 5,000 and 7,000 hours just playing 1v1. Talisman is a different kettle of fish, a different breed of player. He's a thinking man's player. He's clearly analysed the situation, burst on the scene, and smashed some of these proven entities. So it's a very interesting situation indeed. The map Holodny Firma, the most played 1v1 map in Company of Heroes 2 history, because it was the first one just after Pripyat that we were afforded by Relic, the winter version that is. So this map has seen some bloodshed, Dan.
Yeah, it really has. It's been the basis of some really, really good games in the past, and I hope that we get to see one here again as well. And Talisman's already proved, in the last game, how well he can fight from that northern position. I think given how the last game went with Nagano and Nagano's similarities to Jove and the fact that they play together, he may be expecting something similar. I have no doubt that Nagano's probably gone to Jove and been like, watch out for this guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Stay on that north side.
Sukabliet and all that, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine some things may have been said, but, Jove's got to be like, what? What happened? Talisman was nobody like a month ago. Yeah. Now he's one of the best players in the game. And
he clearly is.
Yeah, let's see how it goes then.
Also, there was a nice little break in between the semi-finals. That was the first break Talisman had today. He had a good 20 minutes away from his keyboard, doing what Finnish people do. I don't know what Finnish people do, Dan. Smoking a cigar and eating halibut. Just making it up. But yeah, he's had a chill, and now he's back with a vengeance.
All right, well, still no first engagements really. I think we've just seen the first one come down in the south from the Stern Pioneers. Jove trying to get that green cover up. Looks like a really good opportunity for the Stern Pioneers to roll in and take the strategic one there, but...
oh god, deja vu. Where's the Kubelwagen and all this? Do you remember the Kubelwagen from that previous game when it helped out in this situation? This time the Stern Pioneers are not afforded any such providence. They are all up against a hard place and a rock.
Yeah. And it's interesting, you can really see that Talisman has a specific capping order for this map.
Yes.
There's people that play the 1v1s as much as these guys do, have this kind of style, and it's nearly identical to the previous game.
So what we've seen there is a exchanging of neutralization of cutoff points. So they took theirs and jumped in the garrison to keep the munitions, and here we go. We had a little neutralization. The Stern Pioneers went to take the fuel, insult to injury.
Yeah, I like, by the way, Jove's actually opted for 4 conscripts this time, and we did see before that Nagano had gone into the Maxens, had gone into the Tier 2 build. Jove's going to go with the 4 conscripts. I think this is possibly even better. The good building control, easy to hop in and out of things, and less chance of losing a big unit like that. Great flanking here, though, from Talisman.
It's massive there. So he's done a good job, but Jove seems to have all the answers right now, and one of those answers is keeping inside this garrison here to keep the munitions handy. He's neglecting to cap the northern victory point for the price of it, though. He's now finally getting his fuel back, and the Talisman himself is going to have something to say about it. Posticulating for position, Daniel. They're jabbing. They're having a little bit of a traverse around the ring and just exchange a few jabs, see if there's any weakness in their opponent's game.
Yeah, I mean, these early engagements are also really important, just for territory, because you'll still kind of tech up in the early game relatively similar, regardless of whether you're connected to your fuel. Yeah. However,
it's like these conscripts are not within the capping circle. However, Molotovs is going to change the situation in their favour. Folks Grenadiers on the retreat with embers in their uniforms.
Lovely early tech into Molotovs. Probably expect to see the AT grenades come out soon as well. If Talisman is playing sensibly, seeing that a level of conscripts, the Molotovs are obviously a sign that there's 4. He may consider having to go for battle group. In fact, he is going for the battle group now, of course.
He's going to have to. He's had a few losses here.
Yeah, it'd be silly to go for the mechanized at this point. So, is he going to hit? Is that mine?
It looks like one, but it. No, it's not. It's just
the end of the sandbag.
This
is misleading.
Very misleading indeed. Uro takes this garrison, very important garrison, so close to the cutoff. This can be a sticking point. However, the battle group headquarters will ensure he wins that situation because they'll be able to reinforce whilst he's fighting. It's a bit of a problem. This problem's been posed from both parties right now. It's certainly an interesting situation. Green cover for green cover engagement here. We've got the garrison taken against the battle group headquarters, and then in the south, it's all about the Stern Pioneers waiting with their STGs armed for these conscripts to come around the corner. Burning down the house.
Looking at an early triple cap as well, which is exactly what we want to see from the Allies, especially on a map like this. Really, really effective because you do have such. There's just good points all over here to defend the VPs. So when you do get that grapple on, grab on them, you can really, really hold it down easily.
You can bunker down and make it work for you. Here we go. This pitched engagement is still going on down. I think they're going to succumb to old age before either of them wins that engagement. It does require.
The war's finished, guys. Go on.
Yeah, it's like one of those Japanese guys in the Burmese forest that's still fighting, like 50 years on kind of thing.
I mean, it's nice to see as well that engagement on the north. In fact, that. The Volks Grenadiers have the long-range advantage, both in good cover positions. In fact,
yes, because Muzanegat's weapons profile actually sharpens down towards the end, and I think that's just outside of that, or within it, or whichever way you want to say it. Basically, they do suffer longer range. So much blood, just about capping there. We've got another infantry support gun on the field. I say another because we just finished the game on Holodny Firma with OKW, and we saw one in that game too.
Well, the last one, to be honest, did really well. I mean, apart from that time it did get decrewed by the HM120. It was dealing a lot of damage. It was forcing a lot of retreats. I think that may have really contributed to Nagano not being able to fill, the mass amounts of presence he was expecting to.
Yes.
Around some of the center area.
Ooh, roaring into the house yet again. Oh, but he deploys the Jaegers just in the nick of time to Talisman. Great move. And then a great bit of micro from Jove. He gets away from the ISG shot, so these players are on form, and they sense that this is big for them.
That was really sneaky. He was expecting that. I mean, great play.
Hey Dan, Jort's nicer than 600 euros.
1,300 euros.
Yes, 1,300 indeed, and the prestige of having won the February monthly finals, and that's what we're seeing here. These guys are out for blood.
Yeah, they are. And the good thing is as well is that, I don't think tiredness is really going to be affecting them right now. These guys are going to be pumped.
Adrenaline.
Exactly. The adrenaline is going to be kicking in. The thought of, being able to call themselves the winner of this month's final is going to be a lot. But it's also the same amount goes into pressure and nerves, so they need to be careful of that.
Imagine this, Dan. You're Jove. You've won 3 of the February weeks. You find yourself in the monthly final with a massive points lead. However, Talisman just could be about to pull the rug from under you. It's a big prospect, and Talisman is the man to do it. He seems so focused and so engaged with today's tournament.
Yeah, there's been so many upsets today that it wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened. Over here, you just couldn't put your finger on these things.
Now Joe's relying on what he knows best. He's got the Maxim deployed. He's going to try and use it to win this engagement. Folks Grenadiers evading the arc of fire. However, the Maxim rewrites its position. Moz and Nagat's keeping the other forces at bay, and here comes the ISG fire. So great turnabout in play.
That's a nice little engagement, that, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of facets, didn't it? A lot of dynamics.
It did, yeah. The Stern Pioneer control, the non-retreat, using the building to get into a position where it wasn't taking suppression. Really like that. What's this building from Jove? Is that the M3? Has he already got the tier 3? Yeah. So possible quad cal coming up. Either that or he's going to be trying to put a really big push through the center and you know, reinforce through that.
So yeah, quad mount is a possibility right now. Ultra suppression base unit, eviscerator of light armor. Great utility. He's already got it going for 120 munitions, of course, the anti-air package. Here it comes, going to allow him to completely dominate the northern engagements. As soon as he sees the M5, he knows he's not going to be using that baby to reinforce.
No, Rakettenwerfer is going to come out a little bit late as well. But at least it's building preemptively too, which is fortunate.
Yeah, it's a little bit fortunate. He's going to go straight for the Rakettenwerfer, as Dan rightly mentioned. He's also got this Panzerschreck that is available for fire. It's going to be a difficult proposition once the M5, as Krautmower, as it was called in CoH2Go4, starts wheeling.
Such an important game right now, because game 1 is really threatening. You know, if you win game 1, you have a lot of space to play with things in game 2.
Play with aggression in game 2. You can try and close it out. I mean, this might be a little nice demo there. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as the ISG hits it, which it doesn't. Elsewhere in the south, a little bit of a skirmish between Folks Grenadiers and conscripts. Tale as old as time.
This is going to be dangerous. Double munitions for Jove, double fuel for Jove. I mean, we've seen Talisman come back from this kind of thing, but it's just not what you want to be giving the number 1 seed, you know?
Number 1 seed, or top number 1 all 5 factions. But however, I will point out that Talisman did have a similar pocket of space against Nagano, and I felt that it was very clever play, because what that meant is he was not allowing his opponent veterancy and experience to tech up with. So it is actually classic Kona Heroes play to be denying that from your opponent, but he's paying the heavy price of not having resources because of it.
Well, he's fortunate enough as well.
Full retreat necessary here from the Kugelwagen and from the Folks Grenadiers. Will the Kugelwagen buy the dust? Yes, it will. Eviscerated.
Yeah, that was quick as well. Needed to be on top of that way before that engagement happened.
No, he did not adjust to the danger there quick enough at all. He lost a Kugelwagen because of it. I think
Talisman feels like he's ready to tech up again. Probably going to be the Panzerschwere, but again, we saw this last game. He just didn't really have the space to build it in any ideal positions. However, he could build it in the same spot.
Standing by for setting of command post.
No commander pick either from Jove, so again, he knows exactly what Talisman's gone already. So we're just waiting for him to decide what he thinks he's going to be able to do. So perhaps he wants to see a little bit of the build first, try and identify you know, what the first vehicle's going to be.
I'm allowed to start a chat trend, is that okay?
Oh, yeah, go.
Oh, he sees the demo with the Minesweeper there and manages to destroy. Oh, Panzerschreck and the... No, sorry, Rakettenwerfer take out the M5 quad mount. Big pickup for Talisman. That could be what he needs to get back into this game.
That was a great pickup, and it's so reminiscent of the last game as well with the T70.
Massive.
Great performance with those, and he really just keeps those so secret. Their location is
beautiful.
You know, just so surprising.
Beautiful Rakettenwerfers.
Double mortars coming out from Jove, though.
I actually like that. I think double mortars is kind of really investing in what a mortar brings you, and it can actually be a massive win for you strategically. Nice mines in deep territory.
We'll see how that goes. You can see Jove's preparing quite defensively. There's a lot of mines going down in the center at the moment, especially from those strategic points. And yeah, that's nice to see. Of course, it's going to protect the mortars. Needs to be careful as well, because of course, Talisman does have access to Jaeger light infantry to pop out of buildings, so they will not be completely safe until that's all mined up.
Probably not going to want to do that quite now. There may be mines waiting for him.
No, I mean, that's the thing, though, is that if he can get that whole area locked down, the chances of Talisman being able to push through are quite low. This mine game that they're both playing is really good, though. Talisman mining the green cover that was created by the demo charge.
Oh, nice. I see that. That's a very good point. I mean, as soon as they get within that crater, they're absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, I mean, it should come out to a squad wipe. It's not a 100% guarantee, I think, but...
A little bit of all quiet on the western front as both players lick their wounds and formulate their plans.
Quite a quiet game, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. You can sense that the money is on the line, and you can sense that, like any good dormant volcano, it's ready for eruption at any point. Nice! What reaction from Talisman. He reacted to that engineer coming around the corner so quickly that his incendiary grenade popped almost instantly. The amount of, you know, quick processing that required, great reaction times.
Yeah, he really is like all over the map, But he's going for the Stuka right now, and one of the mortars got cancelled from Jove. It would have been great if he had 2 mortars. That Stuka would have been brilliant.
Oh, that mine didn't quite do as much damage as he wanted. He only had one trailing infantry squad. Could have been the ESG.
Half-track has arrived.
Stuka comes out, T-34 comes out. What do you think?
I think the T-34 could have some fun here. It's a T-34-76, so hype for that because people do often call it an underused tank, and for good reason. However, they do have a lot of utility, especially on the flank. They're a lot beefier than a T-70, so they do actually have their own way of playing that can be quite remarkable at times.
It's a nice unit to have 14 minutes into the game, though.
Really quick. Look at that SG shutdown.
I mean, it really is. It's a shock. You don't normally see the tier 4 units like that come out so quickly. But this is great fuel control that he's had.
Oh, here we go.
Task complete.
No?
Completely wrong target. Hits the T-34 right in the mush. Does no damage whatsoever. Not the greatest opening for the Stuka. Only got 1 kill. Big crush goes in for the T-34-76. Doesn't quite find the mark. It doesn't know where the Raketenswerfers are though, Dan, so it can't really dice very much. It has to go back out of there. No. Fortunately for it, they were nowhere in the vicinity.
I think Talisman's playing that old game again as well. He's going for the south. It's probably a trap, really. It's a bit of a bait. Hopefully, Jove will pull some things down to the south, and while that's happening, Talisman will be able to move his army to the north and lock that down. That's going to be difficult to get past when it does get locked down. Jove has just gone with shock rifle, by the way, as well, and a second T-34. So
I've never seen this commander. Tell me about this commander, Dan. Is this something that people play?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm being facetious.
Sometimes.
Right.
I was also.
Oh, good. You're better at it than I.
I know. You never noticed.
You're a lot more subtle than me. Here we go. The T-34 with a great camo. That's the.
Enemy infantry.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to kind of capitalize on this quick, because Jove did kind of get pushed back off that north side, and I always feel like that really is the best side for Axis to fight on, because there's much less flanking routes. It's easier to take control of the mid, and then you've always got space to work with. On the south side, you don't have space to work with. That's kind of the main point.
It is a little bit more claustrophobic. The north side can open up, especially in the late game. A lot of mortar fire coming down on the Folks Grenadiers, conscripts reaching for the garrison. Raketenswerfers lying in wait for an armor-based target. Importantly, though, 2 victory points against Talisman, as Jove does have a lot of control right now. Oh, that could have been brutal, Dan!
I was expecting that to be the wipe.
That could have been the wipe that sets the chain off. That's where in the centre, it seems like it's all quiet. In the south, we've got a nice few mines laid by the combat engineers.
I don't know if Talisman knows what to do here.
I think he is going to try and build up his army, try and build up his veterancy base. Just firing over here. There we go.
Where was that aimed?
I think that was aimed on a retreat path. You've got these retreating conscripts. They did not go through the gap there. He was expecting it to, so a bit unlucky. When you're prospecting like that, it doesn't always go your way.
Well, of course, we're waiting for Talisman now to show us what he's been doing all day, which is just on the back foot. It's almost like he puts himself on the back foot just so that he can do that. Look at all the mines, though, where those Jaeger light infantry have got to run. Very
easy task. I mean, it's almost like Talisman is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter. He's against a big wrestler, so he's fighting on his back. He's trying to arrange himself for the crucial choking blow, and he'll get it eventually. Raketenswerfers just need to twiddle. They've got the T-34 in their sights. They've got the other one trying to flank. Will they get the shot in? Very close.
Oh, got it.
They got it. It was a delayed explosion there. Molotovs go in. Retreat necessary, but they've done the dirty.
Yeah, and the Raketen play is top-notch from Talisman. He's been on point with that every single time we've seen it happen. And wiping that from Jove, I mean, Jove has to make a decision now. The two T-34s were giving him some really good dominance and mobility around the field. And now he's either got to wait for the IS-2 or maybe consider investing in something else and, you know, delaying the IS-2.
So there's only 80 fuel for 300 munitions expended. Obviously, the Tier 30 is 76. To compensate for it being in Tier 4 is an increasingly cheap unit as the game progresses. So, yeah, it's not the biggest loss ever, but it's a nice find regardless for Talisman. Here comes a big oorah. 20 munitions expended for an increase in speed, but you've got STGs firing, Focus Grenadiers also finding their mark. Going to push away the conscripts in no time at all.
Health damage is pretty extreme there. He may even lose a squad of conscripts.
Really could. He's got a difficult retreat path. A one-man squad having to retreat there. We've also got Focus Grenadiers doing pretty well there, but the Shock Troopers are going to have something to say about that.
T-34 on the south is...
Yeah, it's found its mark on a Stern Pioneer. It's going to do the job of allowing these conscripts to cap this victory point.
Where's that Stuka firing again?
Oh, this time on the mortar.
Oh, all shots nearly on the trees there.
Well, you can see what he was doing. He aimed the third reticle along of the firing barrage of the Stuka Zeus to try and hit the mark. Ooh, ISG was a little bit more successful nearly.
Yeah, I actually find the Stuka shots quite weird from Talisman. We felt like they've been, you know, beneficial at all. I mean, that unit certainly isn't paying for itself at the moment. It's certainly not doing its intended role.
No, it's an odd situation for sure. I mean, Talisman's still in this pocket of resistance. He's just about getting his fuel back, but sooner rather than later, he's going to have to start thinking about victory points once again.
My worry is that Jove will be able to push soon. Of course, the Incendiary and the battle group are forcing everything back to the base, potentially even wiping that. We didn't see the Panzerschwerg, did we go up?
No, he's gone for mechanized, seemingly.
So, you know, there's really no kind of defense there. There's no kind of natural turret defense on that point, which is, it kind of allows Jove the opportunity, if he wants to drive in.
Continuous harassment.
Yeah, and with the Incendiary, it's going to be difficult to deal with.
Well, let's consider this. It's all about Panzerschrecks and Raketenwerfers right now. I mean, the Ostwind is going to act as a mini Schwerpanzer headquarters almost, and try and keep this fuel and the cut-off and allow him to try and take the northern victory points. Elsewhere, Jove's build, of course, is going to be about these big call-on tanks. He's got his T-34-76s, and then he's going to be complementing them, possibly with the KV-8 and IS-2. So an interesting composition, to say the least. You ever seen anybody do that, by the way, now? That's just a remark again. A T-4 build with the call-in tanks of the shock rifle army. That's a very odd situation indeed, isn't it?
It is and it isn't. I mean, the amount of fuel that he had rolling at the start of the game.
Yeah.
2 fuel points, plus so much of the map, you know. So you get the little amounts from the strategic points that do add up when you have that much territory. So you know, he's clearly been able to afford it. It's 2 T-34s, and he's going to hit enough fuel for the IS-2. So really, there was a lot of fuel loss in that early game. And Talisman, he's doing well to stay in this and keep on with the lack of resources he's had.
We've got engagements in 3 sections now. T-34 versus Stern Pioneers pushes them away. Conscripts slowly retreating, and in the south it looks like this conscript lost out to Focus Grenadiers, but did manage to retreat that one. That must have been a misclick. Here comes the Ostwind.
Talisman's on fire today. Look at this slow, steady push from the OKW. I just want to say again, this is exactly how OKW advertise. Slow to the field, building up the veterancy, moving out bit by bit.
I saw that relic big infographic.
Precisely. Oh god, of course, yeah. Don't get me started. But do you know what? It's just nice to see these units and just the fact
she's found Raketenwerfer Dan. That's a nice find.
That is a very nice find, and it's a pretty bad loss for Talisman.
Oh, the Ostwind's got something to say about it, but it'll retreat well faster than that. Almost like a vet to ISG from a week ago. Conscript retreating on a slither of health. Slither being the most commonly used adjective to describe a retreating man in Company of Heroes. It's been going since like 2006. Let's start thinking of other ones, Dan. What describes a minute amount of something?
A wivel.
A wivel of hell. You made that up. That's off Baldric from... what we're going to do is put pencils in our nose and say, a wibble. And then we won't have to go over the top for every American and European that hasn't seen Blackadder Goes Forth, I recommend watching it. It's fantastic. The Stern Pioneers found with their pants down against the combat engineers with flamethrower, aren't able to lay the shoe mine. They're going to put away their minesweeper and try and get these STGs firing, but here comes the shock troopers with the PPSHs. That's not going to go well for them.
No,
big retreat necessary. Elsewhere, Folks Grenadiers and Jaegers coming up against conscripts. That's not going to go well for the conscripts. So we've seen a little bit of exchanging that swivel yin-yang situations going on right now on Holodny Therma.
I think Talisman's probably got to be a little bit confused here, because it almost feels like Jove's holding back.
Yes, it does.
And it's really strange, because this is not the Jove that we know.
Come on, dude. It's 640 manpower, 230 fuel.
Of course, yeah, but I mean, you know, this T-34 is just kind of laying stagnant at the moment. Talisman, I almost feel... I mean, he's worked hard for it, but I almost feel like he's allowed to take back some territory.
Well, it's that great rug banding effect of Company Heroes 2. If you repent for a moment, your opponent will recover and come back bigger and stronger than ever before. Oh, what a shot from the T-34-76. Great splash damage from that 76mm cannon. It might even finish the job. Oh, just about missing.
Still gains veterancy from the miss, though. Which
no, the health damage from the splash. There was one man down. He went from full health to half health. That was enough to give him veterancy. Oh, here we go. Which way is it angled? It's angled over here. It's going to hit this conscript in the face.
I'm sorry, I just don't get the Stuka here. It seems like such a...
Well, let's look at its kills. It's got somehow got an 18 infantry kills. Where's that come from?
I don't know.
Me neither. That's odd, isn't it?
It is.
I think he's cheating. It's like, it's a Volkswagen Suka.
Oh, look at that. The mines there get the Jaegerlight infantry, but he's still going to stay in there for the cap. Looks like that T-34 is going to be pulled down. He should probably get out of that. He knows the T-34 is there.
That is bravery from the Wehrmacht there. They've seen that, the three of the guys... No, we're on orders to decap this point. Well, I am the last remaining remnant of the squad. Oh, T-34 is going to make him pay for it, though. Will he be lucky? He's been very, very obstinate.
It's a trap.
It's a trap! Oh! The Hulk gunner got the kill. Raketenwerfer opens up.
He needs to be careful with that, because if it returns fire, he's sitting on top of a mine. There's a potential it goes off and down! Oh, beautiful. You couldn't narrate it like more.
You couldn't write a script better than that. That was Hollywood directional stuff there. What happened, for those that didn't work that out, is the shock troopers set off a mine which blew up the Raketenwerfer, nearly wiped the shock trooper squad. And this game is really unfolding. We've had a difficult, terse encounter, but now it's all coming about.
Definitely. No, we've also got the IS-2 now, and it's coming up the right-hand side at the moment. And Talisman, I don't know if he's got anything to deal with it other than the Raketens at the moment.
Fat Hulk of Soviet steel is on the field, and it's obliterating Folks Grenadiers left, right, centre.
This is going to be difficult to deal with without veterancy on these units. The Raketten doesn't quite carry enough. I think the other one may have been carrying some veterancy, but you know, you really want some veterans on their units to just make this a little bit easier. Otherwise, again, you know, this 100 fuel that's gone to the Stuka, that could have been, you know, could have been on something else right now.
He really could have been. He's suffering for fuel, this Talisman. However, Talisman has managed to get himself back into this. I mean, he's got 260 victory points, which is more than halfway. He's 26 minutes into the game. Dan, I'm going to say this could go either way.
It definitely could, 100% go either way. And I think it's all thanks to some of those early game wipes that Talisman put down. You know, in the face of everything that's up against him, he's still managing to come up with these great unit wipes. I need to keep my eye on the Stuka, because I don't know where it's getting these kills from.
Yes!
As far as I've
Is it the whole gunner? It's got a little tiny machine gun, hasn't it, the Stuka? I think it's got one.
Not that. It's definitely that.
ISG's doing well for itself, you know. It's got veterancy too, 11 kills. It's not bad.
We said this in the last game.
Ooh! Big crush goes in! Oh, the retreat just about saves it. They phase through half the tank there.
Infantry support guns had great games today. It's been really, really good. It hasn't been like too good. It's just really been. You just leave it, let it do its thing. Yeah.
Oh, here you go. ISG, the IS-2, that big 120mm, 2mm cannon comes to bear. But they're exchanging territories, just getting the southern victory point back. Here comes the Stuka. Which way is it firing? Firing to the north. Will it hit a target? It's only against combat engineers. A bit overkill. And destroys their house. How novel.
Another team down.
Again, yeah. I don't know.
Team down. By the way, that Osfin just went and killed the mortar down. That's nice.
It's good. Looks like he lost the whole unit as well. Lost the whole. Can't even recruit that. So it's a nice little win pickup as well.
He really wanted to keep that fuel from being taken. And he's right to as well. So let's have a look at the resources now. It seems like the Talisman has a hell of a larger army in terms of value, 96 pop cap. Fuel counts are similar, munition counts wildly in Jove's favour. So it's an interesting dynamic. Victory point, of course, it's anybody's game.
Do not let it flank us.
Yeah, I mean, Talisman has got this pretty nailed down when it comes to maximising pop cap. And it really helps him as well. You can see how much it helps him having that full army spec there for OKW. He's even able to deal with the heaviest of tanks just through his infantry alone, which is really good. Now, a lot of people can sometimes play quite reserved with OKW, just trying to rely on the veterancy. But
I want to talk about a company of heroes. Great. Symbiosis was notorious for being very preservative and very cautious in the early game. But I'm going to interrupt myself now because the IS-2 is on the warpath. But yeah, what he'd do, Dan, is he'd just preserve his army. He wouldn't allow his opponent to take wins or win it. He'd allow him to win engagements and push him off the map, but he'd preserve his army. That's what Talisman seems to be of the same ilk. And we're seeing it represented here with a 92 pop cap, and he's sitting pretty, and if you'd watch the early game, you'd be thinking, yeah, Jove's going to ruffle stomp him. Not the case.
no, not at all. Yeah, I mean, he's doing the right thing. I just wonder, though, he really needs to free up something for some tech. I mean, how is he going to really get past this IS-2? I kind of feel like the Osman's limiting him a little bit here.
Oh, the T-34-76. Oh, it plinks off the frontal armour of the Osfin. Very unlucky there. Could have gone either way with that penetration values. Oh, the Stuka doesn't find their mark.
Of course it doesn't.
IS-2 seemingly keeping the south. It's only got the 5 kills so far. Oh, this is bad. This could be bad for the shock troopers. They're having to have a full retreat.
Once again, just a change of territories. Talisman's playing like, he lets Jove come in, deals with the situation very well, and then retakes the territory afterwards. The only difference now is that we do have this supreme heavy tank on the field, which can kind of withstand that counter push.
Yes, he has 2 T-34-76s, an IS-2, so he has a nice complement of armour that actually has a lot of synergy within itself. His opponents, 3 Panzerschrecks and 2 Raketenwerfers. Surely something will come from Talisman with the 120 fuel and counting that will really give him some options. Maybe a Panther.
I think a Panther's probably a good decision right now, but he just can't do it. He has to get rid of a considerable amount of his army.
Yes, he would do, and we probably will see some of that, to be honest.
Raketenwerfer dangerously close.
Oh god, they're having difficulty getting over that crater. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Here we go, the IS-2 smashing through the bushes, giving the Osfin a nasty surprise. However, the Osfin does have a speed bonus with Blitzkrieg engaged, or rather Command Blitz as it's called for the OKW. The big slow traverse of the 122. Osfin did manage to wipe that Maxim there, removing the veterancy. Panzerschreck's trying to keep the Osfin safe, as is the other. Not finding much penetration, however.
It's going to be so difficult to deal with that IS-2.
Oh, the T-34s are all going in with the KV-8. They find the Stuka for Zeus out of position. Wiping it. Big play from Jove. IS-2 is being in a difficult situation.
It's the Osfin down as well.
Osfin down as well.
The kind of the play there, the timing, the flanking, it was just too much. I think this is what we said we'd be scared of earlier as well. He's really done a good job to get all of his...
insult to injury, Daniel. If this Stern Pioneer also goes down, and he does indeed, to the flame projector of the KV-8 heavy tank. Unreal play from Jove. He pent up a lot of Talisman's forces with the Panzerschrecks delegated to the IS-2 in the south, and oh my god, Dan. Look what's coming in now.
This is exactly what we were scared of happening. And again, it just comes down to the overextension. It's he played so conservative throughout the whole game, and the one time that he really pushed out, he suffered for it. And that's exactly what Jove does.
It's what makes Jove a great player. He knows when to play conservatively, and he knows when to play balls to the wall aggressive, and that's exactly what he's done right here.
seeing how this Jagdpanzer 4 helps out at the moment. It's probably got some weight to it, but there's a lot of ground to be made here. Talisman still has a lot of his army left, which is fortunate. He may be able to, looks like he's going to make some ground on the KV-8. Is he coming up for the flank there at the moment?
Do you know what? I'm going to make a savage call now, Dan, and you can hold me to this. I think Talisman's going to get back into this.
He well may do.
I think this is, if he is allowed to, so this is a big test of Jove, if he's allowed to, this could be anybody's game. And the Jagdpanzer 4 is a big part of that. Shrek goes in. Yes, the Jagdpanzer gets the kill. I'm saying yes loudly because I want to see a big, massive final between these two, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the underdog Talisman making his way back in. Any other player would probably have thrown GG against Jove, not Talisman. He is a fighter, and he's here to fight today.
That all-important veterans here.
Oh,
whoa,
look at that
nice.
through the bushes!
That was a good attempt. It's a shame that didn't go through. But,
attacking ground there and through the bushes, nearly hit the mark as well. And this battle has absolutely erupted. We talked about it being of a Vesuvius nature earlier, and it's definitely it's been brewing, and now we've seen that eruption. It's fantastic to see indeed.
Yeah, I think it's been relatively slow up to here. The first game of the finals, these guys need to suss each other out, you know, and I fully suspect that Jove needed to make sure he knew exactly what potency Talisman had today. But here we go, he's finally testing his strength now, and Talisman really met that well. Talisman straight back into that.
To use more boxing analogies, they finished testing each other out, and Jove came out swinging straight into round 5. Talisman, however, had the counterpuncher answer in the Jagdpanzer, so now they're going to go back to their stools, and they've got some heavy thinking to do, and their coaches have a lot of words to say indeed. You've got to say, though, it looks like Jove's on a point victory. He's on the course for it right now. He does have victory points in his control. However, Talisman is not going away, and it's still anybody's game, in all honesty.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see this next 2 minutes from Talisman. It's going to be a big moment for him.
The Jagdpanzer does not penetrate the IS-2 in this circumstance, but surely will penetrate his second shot. IS-2 is deflecting a hell of a lot here. It does have a big husk of iron as its frontal armour.
Right there.
Finally pushing away the IS-2. Elsewhere, it looks like the conscripts are coming in to try and thwart the Folks Grenadiers.
He needs to pick a direction. I mean, at the moment, he's still trying to fight on all sides. I guess that's understandable with the triple cap, maybe testing out which side is the most accessible for a push. But
I agree.
He's really got to get control of one of the VPs. He may as well go up to where his resources are. Fortunately, there's nothing up there at the moment. Sad thing is, though, is that if you go north, Joe's just going to go straight into your base again.
Yes. He can't leave him in the centre undefended because he knows there's those T-34s. Oh my god, and a Katusha coming online very shortly as well. As soon as he, yes, he has a Katusha on the field. Jagdpanzer's not finding the mark now.
It really isn't, no. Wait till he gets some veterancy, though, and it'll start perking up a little bit.
Oh, there's that stolen Rakettenwerfer getting rid of the Jagdpanzer. That's not hit veterancy. Oh, here come the T-34s. The Jagdpanzer's got a hell of a lot of distance to travel. It needs to get into position, but it's a very difficult situation indeed. You've got the Panzerschrecks trying to thwart this T-34. You've got the Jagdpanzer has been flanked. Will they be able to destroy this T-34 before it manages to destroy the Jagdpanzer? No, they won't. The IS-2 pushes it into Jove's favour. And the incendiary artillery. This incendiary artillery is going to make it a difficult situation to stick out, and he throws in the towel.
Yeah, that's too much. It's too much for him to deal at that point. I think it's a sensible decision as well. He's going to be playing as the allies in the next game, so he really needs to conserve his energy a bit and
I tell you what, though,
center himself for game 2.
If I was Talisman, I wouldn't be too upset with how I performed in that particular game.
Oh God, no.
He was up against Jove's Soviets, and he now has a chance to play allies himself on that same map. So, in my opinion, this series overall is still anybody's. If you were to look at the actual players and who they are, you've got Jove, top 5 all factions, and having won 3 weeklies and 5 weeklies overall, you wouldn't be giving Talisman much chance. But on Talisman performances today alone, it's still anybody's game.
Yeah, I mean, notably that was a slower game as well,
At the start it was, but then it stopped being slow very, very quickly indeed.
It's slow, but it is nice to see it like that as well. It really, really is. And you're just waiting for that right moment, making the correct plays. And there's so much thought going into it. I love that.
Yeah, the thought at one moment was, I have a lot of tanks. My opponent has currently got all his Panzerschrecks in the south. his thought was kill, kill, destroy, kill, and he now finds himself 1-0.
Yep, and that is it's going to be pretty heavy on Talisman right now. The fact that Jove is already 1 game up. He's going to be going into this next game knowing that he has to not only perform as allies, he has to overperform as allies right now. Will he mimic the same thing that Jove has just done? Possibly. Maybe he'll introduce us to something else. But I think we've seen him as a Soviet player. I think that's where we know Talisman.
Talisman's a hell of a player, and I think he's got tricks up his sleeve. And I think now he doesn't have the added pressure, you know. He doesn't have the added pressure of the weight of expectation. I know he's lost 1 game. That's just 1 game. Talisman can go into this now and show us something different. And if he wants to be at that elite pedestal that we put Jove, Loveness, Dev, them kind of people, and I think, by the way, Talisman has all the prerequisite skills to get there. He just needs to show us that killing final touch.
The downside is, though, and the downside for everybody, is that Jove is #1 in all factions. So he knows most of what Talisman will be doing. He knows the weaknesses. He knows the tells of the, you know, of when to hit those weaknesses. And I think that's something that works against the players there. He knows. He knew that last game. The second that Austrian came down, it's like he was waiting for it. You know, it was so weird to see Jove like not on the field the way that we expect. And I can't even imagine it's because Talisman was playing such a good game. Jove was like, I need to be careful here. The second that Talisman put his foot out of line, all those tanks were straight.
They were.
It was so quick.
It was genuinely a strategic counter. It was like he looked at it, and he's Russian, so he may well have done. Looked at it as a chessboard kind of situation. Okay, his rooks and his knights over here. That means his king's exposed, and he went straight for the jugular and got a checkmate scenario.
It was a good game.
It was. It was nice. And it was slow at the start, but as I say, it was very much Mount Vesuvius or Etna or whatever volcano you want to use as your example. Krakatoa even. Scenario, and now we've got Ash in the sky and Jove going into game 2 with 1-0 behind him.
Oh, they've started already as well.
Yes, they have. No rest for the weary, no rest for the wicked, and no rest for the casters. Let's get straight into this.
I honestly thought they'd probably have a little bit more of a break, but don't know. Maybe Talisman wants it over and done with. I don't want to say that. You know, maybe just thinking, I got my 600, let's go.
Klug? Shall we...
Oh, of course. Go on then. One more. Because we're here today from ESL Studios, and Sega's been very nice to us, Rally's been very nice to us. We have so many giveaways.
Yeah, this is true now. So we are in a privileged position of having the honour to cast from ESL UK. When we got, you know, when we saw that there was a competition to be casters for this, when we saw that ESL was in the making, we couldn't believe our luck. We were already in a pretty strong position as casters, but to now find ourselves 3 months